up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, going to do the DAZN preview for Saturday, September 25th, headlined by the Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk unified heavyweight title fight. Big time matchup right there in the heavyweight division. We'll get to that. We're going to start with the undercard, though. First off, the whole card starts around 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's West Coast time. That's my time. You'll probably be getting to the three fights I'm going to be discussing between 12 and 1 o'clock, with the main event between Joshua and Usyk to take place between 2 and 3, maybe more towards 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to discuss three fights, two from the undercard and the main event. The first one I want to discuss is going to feature the former super middleweight champion of the world, Callum Smith, as he makes his return from the first loss of his career when he got dominated against Canelo Alvarez last December by a lopsided 12-round unanimous decision. They attempted to unify belts. Canelo just totally worked them and dominated them. Callum Smith looked completely out of his element, even though he was a top guy at 168. He looked completely out of his element. He got dominated, and Canelo unified the belts. But Canelo's also the pound-for-pound king, and I think Callum Smith's been written off like he was just some nobody, and that's just not true. Callum Smith's a very accomplished fighter. He won the World Boxing Super Series, knocking out George Groves in the finals to capture the world title. And, you know, George Groves at the time was the number one super middleweight in the world. And he's been widely avoided since. But he stepped in there against the pound-for-pound king, and he got his ass beat. But he didn't get knocked out. He went to 12. And, you know, he was a big guy for 168 the whole time. Excuse me for a second. So now he'll be returning at 175 pounds light heavyweight, which is a smart move. You know, he's a tall guy. He can box. And I think part of the reason he was avoided so much at 168, besides, you know, not having a huge name, was because of his size and his ability to box and take a punch as well. Well, now he's not going to be as big, and he's, you know, obviously not going to be able to, you know, the size isn't going to be the issue why guys don't fight him. So he's going to get fights, and he's starting off against a tough guy in Lenin Castillo. You know, Castillo is 2 fights removed from fighting for the world title against Dimitri Bivol. He lost a one-sided decision, but he stayed in there the whole 12 rounds. He's lost the decision to Marcus Brown, you know, a top 10 contender, and he also has lost to, you know, he lost earlier on in his career to some unknown guy. But, you know, this is a guy that doesn't look like he can be hurt. He's got a decent record at 21-3. And I think he's going to be a tough test for Callum Smith in his first fight out. So I don't think this is the easiest opponent, but I think Callum Smith, this was a smart opponent. Get in there against a guy who's fought for the world title a couple years ago and fought top 10 light heavyweights, and see if, you know, see how you'll do. But he needs to be fully prepared. He is fighting in his backyard of the United Kingdom. I think he's going to get a clean, unanimous decision here in his comeback. So that's Callum Smith, Lenin Castillo at light heavyweight. Now on the undercard, or in the co-feature, undefeated WBO Cruiserweight champion Lawrence Okolie just captured the belt back in March with a brutal knockout of former 2-time champion Krzysztof Glowacki. Dominated him, proved he belonged. He's 16-0, 13 knockouts. He's making the first defense of his title against an undefeated but little-known Dilan Prasovic, who's 15-0 with 12 knockouts. Now, Okolie's coming in a sizable favorite. But in all honesty, Okolie has, outside of, you know, Glowacki, they have fought similar style competition. Maybe Okolie's competition's a little bit better, but not by much. So Okolie's got a lot to prove in his first title defense here. As we know, he wants to line himself up for a potential unification bout with Maris Bradis, or even the WBC champion, Ilunga Makabu, at some point. But he needs to get through this fight first. He's fighting at home. It's going to be a good fight. I got Okolie winning by stoppage in the middle to later rounds, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to the scorecards. But Okolie should win, retaining his world title. He's an exciting fighter, and he's out to prove himself, so make sure you check that one out. And then the main event, you got Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. If you guys want a full-on breakdown of this fight, go watch my breakdown video that I did a few weeks ago. It's the highest viewed video I've ever done. I'm currently at 3,400 views and counting. I'm very proud of that video. Go check it out if you want an in-depth look at this fight. I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be competitive for a while. You know, Joshua, two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world, you know, is making a mandatory defense against the undefeated and former undisputed cruiserweight champion. This is a big fight for Anthony Joshua, big fight for Alexander Usyk, who's never tasted defeat. He's a 2012 Olympic gold medalist. This guy knows how to win, and he's fought some big fights, including that World Boxing Super Series that he won a couple years back. So, you know, Alexander Usyk is ready. He's prepared. Joshua is ready. He's prepared. This is a big-time fight between my number 2 and my number 6 heavyweight in the world right now. So, cannot wait to see it. I'm picking Anthony Joshua to win this fight, though. I think he's going to stop Usyk in the middle to later rounds. But I definitely think Usyk is a live underdog. I think if Usyk can box to perfection, he might be able to slow down Joshua and possibly stop him in the late rounds, or possibly get a decision. But we got to wait and see how the fight goes. I mean, we just don't know until these guys get in the ring and their styles match up. Joshua should be the favorite, you know, as he is, but you never know what Usyk can bring to this fight. He might be able to pull it off. We'll see what happens. But that's Saturday, September 25th on DAZN. Big time card. Joshua Usyk for the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World. Lawrence Okolie versus Dilan Prasovic for the WBO Cruiserweight Champion of the World at 200 pounds. Championship of the World at 200 pounds. And then former world champion Callum Smith returning, taking on former world title challenger Lenin Castillo in Callum Smith's debut at 175 pounds light heavyweight. So should be good. Saturday on DAZN. Remember, the whole thing kicks off at 10 a.m. West Coast time. And again, the main card and the main event. Main card should kick off between 12 and 1, and the main event should be around 2:30, 3 o'clock in my opinion. So make sure you're tuning in, guys, on DAZN Saturday, 10 a.m. Hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing. You've been here with the truth.